Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Tyramus video. In this video, I'm going to go over all of the magic that we have on our Tyramus world. And for most of this video, I'm going to be speaking in character, so it will all be acting. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe and turn on all notifications so you don't miss an upload. I'm gonna be making a ton of Tyramus content as well as a variety of challenges and other Minecraft content with the members of this server. Anyways, let's get on to the video. Magic in Tyramus is super interesting and unique. It stems from the energy inside of each person, and we catalyze this energy using gauntlets to shoot out powerful spells or heal our allies. Each gauntlet is signified by the gem in the center. This gem is infused with elemental items that give it power. The 5 elements that we have been able to conjure magic from consist of fire, ice, lightning, earth, and wind. Each element gives different powers and abilities and different stats as well. For example, most of the wind spells involve movement of some sort. Let's get started with going over the Earth Gauntlet. This is a powerful gauntlet focused on defense. The glove has 4 different spells. First is the Earth Bolt, a basic spell that shoots out an energy bolt of Earth energy. This spell does a bit of damage and knockback. I've never used Earth magic myself, but I've talked to people who do, and it's pretty powerful. The next spell is the Ground Slam spell. This spell activates by punching the ground really hard with a glove. And this is an area of effect spell that knocks enemies into the air and deals damage. It's similar to the shockwave ability that I've seen Outlaw do with his artifact weapon. But we'll go over these artifacts in another journal entry. Then we have the Launch spell. This spell utilizes your energy to throw you up vertically into the air, allowing you to climb up mountains and trees and other things very easily. And then the final spell utilizes your energy to give you some extra absorption hearts. This gives you a magical shield that will prevent a few hits of damage from actually taking away your hearts. I've heard you can make potions with this effect as well, but I've never actually tried that. Now, let's move on to the recipe for this gauntlet. In order to create it, you'll need to mine some stone, cook that up in a furnace, and then double cook it to get some smooth stone. Afterwards, surround a single diamond with this smooth stone and you'll get an earthen elemental crystal. This, combined with 3 iron and 5 leather, will give you the Earth Gauntlet. Now, let's move on to the next element of ice. Ice is also combined with water, and you get a natural increase in damage while you're in water and using this gauntlet. Now, I don't know too much about water spells because I myself am a fire mage, but I do know that the ice gauntlet has 4 spells that are connected to it. And they're mostly focused around increasing your speed, damage, and other things while submerged in water. Firstly, we have Frostbolt. This is your basic ice spell that just shoots a ball of ice that explodes and deals damage to whatever it hits. It also slows mobs for about a second. Then, we have Frost Nova. This is an area of effect frost spell that expands your energy outwards in a circle, and anything that this frost energy hits will freeze in place for a small amount of time. This spell is super useful in controlling enemies if you're being overwhelmed by too many of them, and I've actually been trying to get a similar result with my own fire magic. The next spell is Dolphin's Grace, and this is a buff that gives you a very fast speed increase while underwater. Normally, you could only get this from dolphins, but after studying them for a while, we were able to create a spell that does this for you. And it only lasts for about 15 seconds. The last spell is Water Breathing, and this is a very simple buff that takes its inspiration from a potion that you can go ahead and create that gives you water breathing. And this is just a spell that does the same thing, and it'll give you the effect for 30 seconds. It's super useful for diving underwater. The recipe for this gauntlet utilizes snow blocks surrounding a diamond to create the elemental gem. And then after that, you combine it with 5 leather and 3 iron. This will get you your ice gauntlet. Currently, we're studying on how to create a base magic gauntlet that doesn't require any sort of elemental gem, but can still cast spells. However, we've been unsuccessful in the attempts to create this gauntlet. The next gauntlet we're going to go over is the Lightning Gauntlet. This is arguably the most destructive gauntlet and focuses on dealing really high amounts of damage quickly, but you can only cast the spells every couple of seconds. You don't want to wear yourself out, as the lightning spells take the most amount of energy to cast. However, this glove only has 3 spells. Our first spell is Lightning Bolt. This utilizes magical energy to summon a giant lightning bolt from the sky to strike a nearby location. This deals a bunch of damage to anything it touches. I mean, they literally get struck by lightning. What more do you want? Next, we have the Chain Lightning spell, and this spell actually doesn't do as much damage, but it shoots off a lightning bolt in front of you and bounces off of whatever enemy it hits to try and hit another nearby enemy. This is a really useful move to hit multiple enemies at once. And then lastly, we have the Zap spell. This spell will move you at light speed to a location nearby, slightly in front of you. It doesn't do any damage, but it's super fun to use and helps with travel a lot. The recipe for this glove is redstone surrounding a diamond to get the elemental crystal, and then again utilizing 5 leather and 3 iron to create the gauntlet. Let's go over the Fire Gauntlet and its 4 spells. This is the glove that I use, as I chose to study fire magic instead of any of the other elements. The Fire Gauntlet is a very good balance between damage, support, and movement. It's not necessarily great in any of these topics, but it is decent in all of them. A jack of all trades, if you will. The first spell is Fireball. This is a basic spammable spell that does low damage, and that's all it does. Blast Nova is the next spell, and it creates a large sphere around the player that does damage to everything around him. It also sets everything on fire for a short time. It's a really powerful spell, and it takes a lot of energy to use. Next, we have the Fire Jet spell. This spell launches you through the air quickly with fire, and it's used to boost your stuff or get around faster. Lastly, we have the Cauterize spell. This spell actually burns your wounds, causing you to stop bleeding, and healing you a few hearts of damage if you're injured in combat. I decided to use this gauntlet specifically because of how versatile it was in every situation. The recipe for this gauntlet includes going to the nether, killing some blazes, and collecting their blaze powder. Then you put that around a diamond to get the fire elemental crystal, and then that will allow you to combine it with 5 leather and 3 iron to get your final gauntlet. Also, I've been studying fire magic ever since I used to live in Cinderfall. I remember going to the archives building every single day and collecting a bunch of stuff from there, but now it's gone. Anyways, let's go over the last gauntlet. Finally, we have the Wind Gauntlet. This gauntlet focuses on using air to push enemies away and increasing your mobility. The first spell, Gust, is a spell that moves every mob in front of you away. It pushes them far and they take some fall damage sometimes, but it doesn't deal any damage itself. The next spell, Whirlwind, does the same thing but deals damage and does it to all mobs in an area, summoning a tornado that looks really cool. Sometimes the mobs fly way too far and just die. After that, we have the Disengage spell, which launches you backwards into the air with a gust of wind. This is used practically to get away from lots of mobs or to travel. The last spell is called Blitz, and it gives you a speed boost and jump boost for a small amount of time, letting you move quickly. The recipe for this is simple. Feathers around a diamond for the elemental crystal, then 5 leather and 3 iron with the crystal to get the gauntlet. As you use the gauntlet and spells, they eventually will upgrade, giving you different buffs to your already learned spells, such as shooting out a second fireball when you shoot your normal fireball, or lower cooldowns so that you can use your spells quicker. This actually concludes the gauntlets. That's all they are, and they're really cool and powerful, and I love how different all of they are. However, you're only able to control one element at a time. If you control more than that, the energy will overload you, and you'll probably explode. However, we're also working on elemental armor sets. These are armor sets that are infused with energy to grant you extra hearts, extra damage, extra spell damage, and much more. However, for now we're only able to create elemental boots for each element, and each of these do different things. But first, let's go over the recipe for how you can actually create these. The recipes for these elemental boots include 4 of whatever elemental item, so feathers, snow, blaze powder, smooth stone, etc. in each corner of the crafting table, the gold boots in the middle, then 2 elemental crystals, and then 2 gold ingot. This will get you your elemental boots. Now, the recipe is kind of expensive, but it does serve as the most powerful piece of armor you'll get. Now let's go over each pair of boots and the abilities that it gives us. The wind boots allow the user to passively jump higher and move faster, as well as providing protection from some magical and projectile attacks. The fire boots allow the user to double jump, and they provide resistance to some fire damage. They also let you walk over lava with obsidian spawning below you whenever you land in lava, kind of like the Frostwalker enchantment. Then, the lightning boots give you extra damage, and gives you even more extra damage when it's storming or raining. The earth boots give you extra hearts when you put them on, and gives a small amount of protection to all damage. The ice boots have toggleable Frostwalker enchantment, as well as giving you a swim speed increase, and protection from projectile. Overall, we're still working on the elemental armor sets and discovering how to infuse magical energy into different pieces of armor in order to create some powerful upgrades. Hopefully, we'll be able to modify new armor sets with magic in the future. Anyways, that concludes our time here on all the magical gloves and boots around Tyramus. So for now, I'm going to put away my journal and continue to write more as I explore this province. There are lots of remnants left over from Cinderfall's destruction, so we're gonna go over all of that in another journal entry. And now, I am signing off. Thank you all for watching. If you liked the video, please hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get back up to my subscriber count on my main channel because this is a brand new channel. If you want to get in contact with me, I have a Discord server link below, but you can also follow me on Twitter as I reply there way faster. Anyways, that's all from me. Bye-bye.